Welcome to the Pillar of Salt podcast, where there is no topic and we have no plan. I'm Hank, and with me in the swamp of sorrow is Ben.
Wow. I don't want to be in the swamp of sorrow. I didn't agree to this.
I'm sorry.
Also, you want to do a prime thing live that I should have done before starting the episode?
What?
I'm going to change the Discord server region to US East.
Wow. Look at this guy.
Okay. It went through fairly quickly. I think we're fine. Hopefully.
I mean, it seemed to be working fine already.
Yeah.
It's a preemptive strike.
Preemptive, yes. So I wanted to start off. I don't know how far this will take us, but I need to apologize to you. But it's not for something I did wrong. It's just that I've learned more things. I've stumbled into new information, and I realized that I was being silly much earlier.
Okay.
World of Warcraft raids are hard, and I shouldn't have suggested we do one. Oh, man.
What did you do, Ben? What did you do?
So, for those who don't know, the current content in World of Warcraft is scaled to you. Like, it's the stuff that you should be doing, and it will be difficult. With some exceptions, the farther back you go. Yeah, you're not going to roll into a raid alone and do it. But if you go back a couple expansions and you're like, I want to do this raid, just roll in by yourself and one-shot everything. Like, it's fine. So I've been doing stuff in Pandaria and just rolling through this raid. And Legion was kind of the same. The dungeons were easy as shit. Like, I'm not one-tapping stuff, but nothing's doing damage. So I've been doing all the dungeons on Mythic difficulty. I went into a Legion raid, like the Tomb of Sargeras on Mythic difficulty. Actually it was impossible. Like, straight up impossible. Like, that dude had like 12 million health. And he was the first boss of the raid. And I'm like, shit. So this is Legion on Mythic. I'm willing to bet that the raid I suggested on Heroic is much worse. Yeah, so I was like, oh, this is why it was met with such sarcasm when I suggested we do this. Me and Mark tried to do it on normal and we couldn't get it. Just ridiculous.
I mean, you were suggesting a 12-man raid also.
Well, I'm not saying just by ourselves, but like as a group, and then we.
But yeah, but like that's also part of it. It's like even if we were super committed, you have to find 8 other fucking people that are trustworthy.
Yeah.
Like when I was raiding every week, my group only had like 8 of us at most that were regular or whatever. So we had to rely on a rando or 2 every week, and it like totally hard capped us for how good we could do. We couldn't get through the end raid of Wrath. We couldn't get to the Lich King. It just it was too hard.
Yeah,
and we didn't do it long enough. We got to like the third to last boss or whatever. Once that was like our peak.
Nice. I mean,
like that shit's just hard, and that was getting 10 people.
Yeah.
This raid you suggested was slightly bigger. It's a 12-man. Like that's where the difficulty is. Like that's the thing. That's your goal for the whole playing the expansion.
Yeah.
It's getting all the gear. And like at that point, to get the gear to get to the final boss, you're only getting gear from like doing the raid every week and getting the pieces from the bosses that drop for your
Yeah.
raid group. So if you introduce randos and then they take the gear and don't show up to your next, like you need a guild.
Okay, but you don't
That's
need
the
to
point of
worry
a
about
guild.
you don't need to worry about people taking the gear now though. At least there's that.
Oh, I don't know how the. What do you mean?
Like it's everybody rolls individually. So like if you defeat a boss, in theory everybody could get a piece of gear from it.
Really?
I think so.
That doesn't sound right at all. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not totally positive. I know there's been times where like one person gets a piece of gear and there's been times where like 4 pop-ups happen. I don't know if it's like that particular thing.
I mean, it could
or
be
if
that
it's-
extra pieces of gear dropping from the boss.
Yeah, I'm
Whatever.
not sure. Either way,
Because like I know the way it works. It doesn't. It rolls for you basically. Is the way WoW is built currently. You don't have to roll for stuff or press even a button. It just does it and then gives the item to somebody. It seems like. Just like
Yeah.
in dungeons and stuff compared to olden times.
yeah. No, I know back in the day it was different. That was a thing.
I mean, go because I've been hopping a little hop back and forth in that I played new WoW and then I played some classic with my friend.
Yeah.
Man, classic is so much. Like, it's so meaner. It's so more like not streamlined. Because
Yeah.
we had the problem of like, fucking, where do we go for a quest now? We were just like at a weird point where, and part of it is exacerbated by the thing we wanted to be doing is grinding a dungeon, but there's just nobody fucking leveling. And particularly our servers that we were playing on our characters, we'd gotten to like high 30s. My friend's like 35 or something. I'm 37, I think, or 38 now. He's probably 36. But like, there's just nobody on our server who's not 60 at this point. Like, the only people
Yeah.
still playing that server are 60. And so what people do now is they just get power leveled by 60s to get through dungeons because there's no, so you can't find groups, and it's
Yeah.
super boring to get power leveled through that shit. So that's been a bummer. But so we're trying to find a place to quest because like I theoretically really all we like doing is chatting with each other and playing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this just happens to be the only game we actually both play. But yeah, so we had to go to like the worst zone
Ugh.
and like run around for too long and get a couple quests done.
Yeah.
The game has so many more rough edges.
I finally got I think so far it's I mean it's not the first time it's happened, but it's the biggest instance of like me wanting to do one single thing and then discovering that the trail to get to that thing is like 100 years long. Like I had done most of the new stuff in Battle for Azeroth. Except for, like, I guess I didn't fully get into the... Paul had been talking about, like, the old gods, like the Lovecraftian shit. And I'd seen a tiny bit of that, and I thought that's what he meant. But no, there's, like, a whole side thing. So I got corrupted gear, and I was like, oh, I see people talking about corruption. This must be this thing. And then I found out you can take the corruption away, which is nice. Okay, well, how do I do this? Well, you need these coins. Okay, well, how do I get these coins? Well, you need to do a horrific visions thing. Okay, where do I go to do a horrific visions? Well, you need to do this quest. Cool. How do I get this quest to pop? Well, you need to do this preemptive story shit. Cool. Where's that? Well, you need to... I want to do one thing. Just ridiculous.
Well, because it's designed for the people who are
Yeah.
playing continuously, so like when the new thing pops, they just go do it.
Yeah, because it was like the...
So it's way easier to
Whatever
follow
patch.
if you're actually playing the game.
like
Yeah.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like I didn't know that I had that much stuff that I hadn't done aside from like raids and dungeons and shit in the
Yeah.
in BFA. I
But
just
I
thought
mean,
it was funny.
like every patch past the release of BFA is post game stuff. Like that's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
they're just stacking stuff on there. There's got
Yeah.
to be stuff. Like, why would people still be playing the game?
I
They're
know.
almost 60.
They play the game
You
so
knew,
they can.
but you didn't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's like rating. I know, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But now I do.
You have a taste.
I have
Still don't know.
I still don't know.
You like
and
you've seen the shadow on the wall of the cave.
I'm hoping. I just want to complete that.
You've not seen the sun.
I want to see this stupid. I want to beat the stupid Legion raid. 10 levels past it. I should be able to. I think me, Mark, and Ty are playing today, so hopefully. The problem really was that me and Mark tried it, and there was a dude who just infinitely puts you to sleep, and he kept targeting Mark, and then Mark died, and then he kept targeting me, and it's literally a chain. You cannot break out of it unless someone dispels you, and I don't think either of us have that, so I watched him die, and then I died, and then it was over. So,
That sounds about right.
yeah.
Mechanics, dude. Some things have mechanics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're too not overpowered enough to smash through all of it.
Yeah, no, we're not quite there. Well, maybe we will be. Mark is still his eye level is a little low because he hasn't gotten through all of the BFA shit quite yet.
Same though.
Hey.
I mean, I only played for like 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. He took this is his did you know he took this week off?
No, I didn't.
He literally took this week off to play WoW.
That's pretty good.
I think he's doing it again when Shadowlands comes out.
Man. Well, that's my thing right now is like I really don't want to go hard at this because nothing I do matters right now. Shadowlands is coming out really fucking soon.
Yeah.
In like a few months.
I'm triggered on a personal level because as you may have picked up, one of my enjoyments in the game is being a little goblin and trying to make money. Which I've been.
You could have been a goblin.
Yeah, but then I'd have to be horde.
They have a personal hobgoblin that they
I-
get to summon and just access their bank wherever they go.
When at some point down the road, when I make a horde character, it's going to be a goblin.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's a little miniature orc. It's a little gobby boy. Yeah, so I'm sitting here, like, busting my hump, trying to make this money, making some good investments, making some failed investments, feeling out things, getting an idea for how all this works. Meanwhile, Mark's friend just drops him like 100,000 gold, and then Ty just buys 100,000 gold. Assholes. How dare they?
Hilarious.
Now
Because
Ty's
you can just
treating me
buy
like
money
I'm
in that game.
Ty's treating me like I'm poor.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that sounds like Ty. You're playing the video game to make money? I have a fucking job, motherfucker. Let it rain.
I mean, I don't even think that was his problem, honestly. His problem was that he got to Pandaria and really enjoyed it, so he just stayed there doing the quest and stuff, which of course brings your, after 90 or whatever, brings your leveling to an absolute standstill. So he's still making like
Oh yeah.
2 silver per mission and getting like no XP. So
That's hilarious.
Like,
Oh, is he not max level yet? Still?
he is. He ended up using his boost because
Oh, okay.
he we I was talking to him while we were like playing, and he likes the story stuff in Pandaria, and he also wanted to do some of the reputation based stuff, and I was like, honestly, if you're if you really want to stay here, you should probably just boost your character, because he was also getting frustrated at, like, it's still taking a long time to do stuff, but he wants to see it, but he also wants to eventually get to max level. I'm like, you need to pick something. So max level, now you can just
It's a shame he
through.
picked like the worst story stuff. It's the I hate Pandaria's story stuff. It's the one I hate the most.
I think it's fine. I like this setting. I like the setting.
That's where the mana bomb happens. It's the worst.
Yeah. Do you know
where they broke it for
maybe
me?
Maybe you can provide some insight. Do you know why on earth the server that we're all on, Sargeras, there's like 15,000 alliance players and like 3,000 horde players, and they're all on like Pandaria? Every time I roll up somewhere, there's like a 10-to-1 ratio of horde to alliance, and it's like one of the few places I've seen where it's like that. And is there like
No
extra horde? No? Okay. I was wondering if maybe there's like extra horde shit on Pandaria or something. Even though it's neutral or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know why you would go to Pandaria, period. If you're
There's some
max level. Other than like if you're farming something specific.
So for me recently, BFA does
Or you
take
just really want to play Plants vs. Zombies and wow.
BFA takes you back there briefly. There's like some assault shit.
Fucking what?
Some of the Lovecraftian shit happens on Pandaria, and there's like an assault that you can do there. Aside from that, I've been trying to they were doing the Pandaria time walking thing. I wanted to grab reputation to get one of those fancy cloud serpent mounts. So, that's about it. Otherwise, I mean, the expansions I want to
Again,
spend.
Pandaria I found so boring I quit while leveling in that expansion.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. I can see why, like, I was
also like, I mean, I'd been playing hardcore for like the end of one expansion and entirely through another, so I was also just a little burned out, probably.
Yeah.
And all my shit that I had worked so hard for was now worthless, so
Yeah.
lost motivation. Also, they fucked up my character. That also did not help.
Yeah, but they brought him back a little bit, right? They like reverted the thing.
The thing that's really going to make the difference is coming in Shadowlands.
Okay.
Because you still have to... the skill that I care about, you still have to take it as a PvP talent. And there's still better PvP talents to take than that. But in Shadowlands, they're just making that skill baseline.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like, it was only... they only ruined it, technically, for, like, a year. But, like, the way they structured and your choices for abilities to use meant you just were never going to take Lichborn. Which is, like, the skill that... It's like it's like a way to escape charm and sleep effects or whatever.
Okay.
But it also turns you undead.
Right.
And the thing they took away was they stopped it from turning you undead. But you have your, like... Death Knights have two different resources. They have runes, and then they have runic power. And runes are, like... they have 6 abilities that are just on a cooldown, and they have abilities that cost, like, 1 or 2 runes. And then every one of those abilities builds up runic power. So then they have that resource, which then they can just dump in... like, one of the abilities that they can dump it into is Death Coil, which just straight up, like, a green fireball, skull fireball that's based on a Warcraft 3 ability that deals damage or heals undead. So if you turn yourself undead, you can spam it on yourself
Yeah.
as a roundabout
Okay.
way of healing yourself. And it's just fun when you're doing PvP. Like that's a fun ability to have more than
Yeah.
anything else. Like it's not like this is the game breaking thing really. But like one of the things I liked about Death Knight was having all these cooldowns, defensively and offensively, and they just like stripped so many of them out. They like put them all in the same talent tier, all the defensive ones, and took away some
Okay.
of the baseline ones. So it just made like the class was just less interesting to play. It's
Yeah.
like it was a nerf, but also it was a nerf that made the character less fun because there was less to do.
Yeah.
And the spec I like to do just kind of wasn't good for a little bit. You had to do Frost instead of Unholy.
Okay.
And Unholy is the spec where you get a little zombie pet all the time. Unholy is you do a wield and you do ice damage, bonus ice damage and stuff. But that one's just I never liked it as much.
I mean, I see a lot.
Now
of
I get to
Death
summon
Knights
an
from
abomination, and it's pretty fun. But that's a PvP talent. It turns a 10-minute cooldown into a 1 point that summons an army of zombies into like a 1.5 minute cooldown that summons an abomination. So I just get a Stitches
Yeah.
rolling with me constantly.
I was in a
pretty
scuffle
good.
the other day, and there was like 3 of those things bumping. It was straight
I
up.
can never
not a
tell
good
how
time.
good they're doing, because like the whole time I've been playing retail, my damage meter's been broken. I think because I had like the one I installed for classic running. I think I have to disable that. To get it
Yeah,
to
that
work or
that'd probably
something.
do it.
So that's been frustrating for me because I really like seeing the DPS numbers. It lets me know what if I'm actually doing the right thing.
Yeah, I don't have any DPS things.
Yeah. But again, like all that like extra PvE level 60 content, I always kind of tune out on that stuff. Like when I hit 60, I generally gear up through PvP stuff in the past, which is one of the reasons I hated Legion is they made it dumb. I didn't like what they did because they for when Legion started, I think that this isn't the case anymore. It wasn't the case in BFA, but in Legion, your PvP talents worked like Call of Duty perks. So you had to play a shit ton of PvP to get access to the
Yeah.
choices you could make or the talents at all. Whereas now you just have all of them. You get to pick
Yeah,
the ones you want.
Yeah, it's just natural
Which
leveling.
is what I want also. So I am more into the idea of messing around with some PvP in this thing, but I don't think I'm going to gear up fast enough for that to be that ideal.
Yeah.
Also,
Then-
for a while, the gear you got from PvP was like just the gear you wanted for PvP. Like PvP gear had a separate stat that was only for PvP, whereas now you just get all gear. The way it works, I think it like they smooth out the gear a little bit, but they smooth it to like strictly eye level for PvP.
Okay.
So like the specific stats don't necessarily matter, but your eye level matters. Is how I understand it. Oh, I could be wrong, but I think that's mostly how it works. Which is a weird. I kind of don't get the point of doing that. Then,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I haven't done any like actual PvP, but I have been having more fun just scuffling.
hell yeah,
just
dude, that's
getting
all it
in-
is.
Getting into
That's
fights.
I mean, it's not all it is, but that's mostly what battlegrounds are.
Yeah, yeah.
You should do one of the 40-man battlegrounds.
I do have
Just
a
'cause
quest to
it's
do a
such
battlegrounds.
chaos. They're the epic battlegrounds.
Yeah.
There's just so many people. So you can try to just stand around and watch things happen.
We're winning. Just cast
Yeah, hell
moonfire
yeah,
from like
Or,
800 yards away.
my experience, we're losing. Hooray. Nothing I do matters.
So would we?
I have way less faith in Alliance in PvP than I ever did in Horde. I believed. And when I'm Alliance and we're losing, I'm like, yeah, fucking Alliance. God damn it.
I mean, that's what the consent. I was trying to. My frustration with PvP just comes from when I literally need to do one fucking thing and I can't because Horde people are just camping or whatever. And I was like,
for getting that extra bonus XP.
Yeah. It
you
happens.
Invite it on yourself now.
It happens infrequently enough that I don't truly mind.
Yeah.
But at one point, I was like, why are there so many Horde people camping this one area? Whatever. And someone like some other dude was like, because Alliance is too pussy to do anything about it. I'm like, you're not wrong.
Hell yeah, dude.
We did gank one dude, but then like 40 other people came out of the trees and it was a bad time.
Nice.
But then you get to watch.
I've had really good time killing Horde in Classic with my friend when we were leveling. We'd fight off like 5 people at once sometimes. Good times.
Nice. Wait, you're killing Horde or killing Alliance?
Killing Horde because we were leveling Alliance characters.
Ah, okay.
On Classic. My friend was playing a Paladin and I'm playing Priest.
Nice.
We were just destroying people.
I need to figure out my Paladin character. I got lazy and just boosted my Lightforged Draenei. But now I have, 100 abilities, and I'm trying to. I have put so much time into my druid. I'm like trying to like make all the hotkeys like, okay, this is the thing I'm going to be smashing all the time, so I should put it here so I can treat it like my druid, like that sort of shit. But I just have no idea.
Yeah.
It's cool though. It's nice. I made a spicy little a market mistake turned out to be an okay situation. I thought I could be cute and buy out like all of the materials for a certain cloth from Pandaria and reset the price because it was super low, and they're needed for a bandage that you need for part of the reputation quest for the mount I mentioned earlier. And I was like, this is economics, right? I'll just pull an Epic Games and just throw money at the situation. So I bought out like, I don't know, 4,000 or more of this cloth, and I tried to reset it, and immediately everybody else like posted a shitload of it as well, trying to get in on it, and it like fell back to the normal price. But the bandages that you make from it, like, people started actually posting them again, and so far everyone's been reasonable at keeping them at about the same rate. So the highest amount I purchased a piece of cloth for was like 2 gold or 215 or something, and the bandages are selling for 5. So I'm coming out ahead slowly.
Nice.
But it's happening.
I mean, as long as you're not taking a bath. If you're just losing all your money, that's a phrase for just when
No.
you lose everything, basically.
No,
it all goes down the drain.
No, not yet. It'll take a little while, assuming no one turns into an asshole and just undercuts me, but I'll be fine. I've also been making some investments for Shadowlands. Yeah,
I didn't know how new Auction House worked. And then the game yelled at me like, yo, you don't need to undercut by a silver every time, dude. Just post it. It's fine. Your shit will. The latest shit sells first. And I was like, oh. Well, that saves me some time.
Hell yeah.
I'm used to just like undercutting slightly so that mine's at the top of the page if people search for it.
Yeah.
Because I just want that turnaround.
Yeah,
so
man.
I will say, selling shit on New WoW with a populated server, much easier than on my zero pop server. my medium pop server.
Yeah, that was like the only stuff. It's like what's the there's an idiom or something for this, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Like I traded one good thing for like one aspect of my old server was much better than this one, but this server is much better in a different way. I think I feel like we have a phrase that describes that. I can't think of it.
Trade-off?
I guess. I thought there was something sexier, but that works. Prices on the other server way fucking higher. It was high population, but it was only like 3,000 people total, and shit was selling for like in some cases double what it is here. But on the high population server, like on the actual high population server, like it's nice being able to actually sell things, and like shit moves a little quicker than once a week.
Yeah.
It's more fun to engage with, but you're not making as much money.
Turns out MMOs more fun when there are players.
Yeah. Dude, that that first server I was on, where it's like classified as a new player server, and it's like the lowest of the low.
Uh-huh.
Shit was weird.
Yeah.
Just
It's not
absolutely weird.
great.
Like it was, I thought this is how, like, I didn't realize that it's not new player because it's designated that way. It's like designated as new player because it's low, I think. I'm not sure which came first though,
No,
but
it's low because they create a designated new player server.
Yeah.
And how many people are joining that?
Yeah. I mean, it's entirely my fault. Like, I didn't notice that.
And how many people are sticking with that?
Well,
Because
yeah,
like
see,
it's like new player in that like it's good for like getting in there and starting your first character that you're definitely gonna quit and then go play a different character.
yeah, see, I didn't know that, and by the time I got to the point where I was like, oh, you need to pay to like change servers, I was already committed to my character, and I'd already sunk a shitload of time into it. That was disappointing. Kind of a garbage practice, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, I guess auction house is like the place where it matters.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like
because it matters so much less than it ever used to. Like it matters for guilds. It matters for like I guess particular rating stuff, but for just playing with friends, they've made it so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
In that they've allowed you to play with your friends.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can actually see them. Anyway, it's a lot more WoW talk than I had planned on.
Fair enough.
Was there anything you wanted to bring to the table?
So, Luke Skywalker.
Was this your comment and movie stuff?
Did you know how his name is Luke S?
Yeah.
Lucas.
Yeah.
He's Lucas. He's George. He's Jorge. he's old Georgie. We need the true Star Wars sequels where Luke Skywalker grows a neck beard and then it's just trying to tell everyone how great his new friend Jar Jar Binks is.
Not even that. Just instead of old Mark Hamill, just bring in George Lucas.
Yes.
For Luke Skywalker.
It's a Phoenix Down moment for me. I never realized. I never put it together. It was sitting in front of me the whole time.
The whole time.
And I never connected the dots. Star Wars is ruined forever.
It's ruined forever. Yeah, this is what did it in. This right here is fucking the final
Pretty
nail.
Much. For me at least. It's cursed.
I said it in chat a while ago. I feel the need to voice it here again. It hurts. And it's been long enough. And it hurts my soul, but Rise of Skywalker was not good. I just can't.
It was bad.
I can't look back on it. Like, there are so many ways in which it could have been not good, but led to other good things, maybe? And at this point, I don't know where the fuck we go. That it actually, like, none of those characters are in a place I really care about. I don't know.
It's like, I don't know. It's like beyond storytelling because it's so much of it is weird, petulant, fucking acting against itself. Because it's like just trying to retcon shit or whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have any ideas of its own. Like the way it handles the Knights of Ren is like like they made a big deal of that in marketing, and I'm like, yeah, this is the same shit as fucking what's her name, Shiny
Captain Phasma.
Yeah, it's the same shit as wasting Captain Phasma in The Last Jedi. Like, you just did the same shit that theoretically you're mad about. What? Why? Why can't you at least, like, get the shit right that you, like, pretend you care about? I don't...
Yeah. That's, like, the one thing that bugged me from the start with Force Awakens was, like, it felt like they introduced a lot of shit without telling us. Like, the Knights of Ren. And then we have, like, Luke's Jedi School and all this other... Like, we skip past the stuff that I would have liked to see. Kinda.
I mean, I don't know. Like, the trilogy had no direction.
No.
Because they were, like, trying to approach it the way, theoretically, like, the original trilogy was, where it was made up as they went along. But Star Wars is too big for that, and like the risk on that is what happens, where it's formless and there's no central narrative to those three movies.
Yeah.
And I don't care about any of them anymore.
Yeah. Like, there's moments there, but it's definitely not an overall thing. I don't know.
Well, like, a lot of it rested on where it was going and where it would end.
Yeah.
Like, man, like, fucking everything with Finn is a bummer because his character doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. No, there's been a lot of discussion I've seen about that. How, like,
well, yeah, because there was a big John Boyega interview where he was fucking pissed, rightly,
Well, even
'Cause
with uh,
he didn't do anything with his character.
what's her name? The Rose.
Yeah,
Rose?
I
Yeah.
forget the actress's name.
It's like Kelly something. Ann Kelly. Marie Ann Kelly. Something like that. I didn't like how she I wasn't a huge fan of her character or her moments in The Last Jedi necessarily. And I had come to a weird spot with The Last Jedi where it was like, I'm not a fan of everything here, but I'm a big fan of some of it. And it's stuff that like, it still fell into that slot of like, I don't necessarily like this, but I will accept it as stuff that is happening. And then they just like, even with her, like just she does fucking nothing in Rise of Skywalker, and it's like you have this happen, and then there's so much that just trashed. Like
Well,
I wasn't
like this show has plenty of flaws, but it like tries to do forward momentum in some places,
yes,
and all of that is like cut off at the knees, and then they try to walk again, and they just bleed over the carpet.
for yeah.
I mean, I just really like the Yoda stuff in Last Jedi more than anything. I like Puppet Yoda, so that's mostly what I like. And I like shitty Luke. I like them killing Snoke. That shit is fine with me. But like that movie has like it doesn't fucking do anything with Finn. That plot sucks. It doesn't.
The Last Jedi or
It doesn't.
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah. Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't. It doesn't point to a future. Oh, like the next movie. It's like, I'm making this movie, and this is the thing that happens, and fucking something else can happen later. So, I don't. Rise of Skywalker like reacts to that in the weirdest fucking way, but I didn't like expect anything in particular either. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm rambling.
I think that
they're just bad. It's a bad trilogy. It's a bad trilogy.
The turning point for me when, and I think initially like Paul said something about this as well. When they're doing the little grabby fight in the desert and Rey shoots out the lightning, and in that moment I was like, holy shit, are they gonna have like Ben kind of turn to the light while Rey turns to the dark? I would be 100% for this. That would be a great place for this to go. And they pussed out. At the very least, I think
that movie doesn't fucking do anything. That movie has no balls.
No.
Rise of Skywalker, ballsless.
It would have been. I'd rather.
I mean, I guess they had the balls to put part of the story into Fortnite.
I hate that so much.
They had those balls.
Wrong balls.
Those co-marketing balls.
I mean, that's just that's kind of the summation of the movie right there. Ugh. Even the like up until the very end, I walked because for the whole time I knew that we weren't gonna get full closure on Rey probably, and I was like, I'm excited to see like where she goes in comics or whatever else that comes down the road. Like that would be neat. But then by the end of the film, and I witnessed everything, walk out of the theater, I'm like, I kind of wish Ben was the one to live. Rey should have fucked herself over to save him. That would have been nice.
I mean, they could have both died. It would have been fine. The thing that galls me the most
wins.
about that yeah, sure, whatever. I mean, he's the main character of Star Wars.
Yeah, at this point.
Like, Rise of Skywalker solidifies him as the main character. It's just a bunch of the plot is off screen.
Yeah.
The thing that galls me is, like, if there is a single driving thing about that trilogy, it's that don't leave shit around to create fetch quests for people later. Hang on to shit.
Dude.
And then at the end,
so
she
rough.
fucking puts the lightsabers in a hole to create a fetch quest for someone later on. Ugh.
Yeah, but that's because she had a different lightsaber. Those lightsabers
Just
are
hang
not
on
important
to... Have
anymore.
3 lightsabers.
That's too many lightsabers. General
Give
Grievous.
one to Finn or whatever. Give them to
No.
someone else. They're fucking, like, smallest hints that Finn is force sensitive and doing fucking nothing with it. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's really it's the don't set up future fetch quests. That's stupid. Which is like the main like subplot of those first 2 movies that really holds them together. Like, she takes the books with her at the end of The Last Jedi. That's the important thing. The books go with her. They're not like sitting out there. Just get the stuff and keep it with you.
Yeah.
Fucking, come on. What are you doing? You don't need to go fucking hide shit. It's just annoying.
He's gonna hide the books. On a different planet. In a different desert.
Find a new tree.
She's gonna put the books...
I'm gonna
some
find
asshole-
it my own tree with
Yeah.
blackjack and hookers.
No. She's gonna hide them. She's gonna hide the books in the little encampment she had when she was on her home planet, Jakku or whatever. And then
Hide them in the
some
fucking
force, some
fat
force
flaps of that guy who is played by what's his name from Shaun of the Dead and various other things.
I don't know.
Forget his name. I forget his name. Whatever.
Oh,
When is Daniel Craig Stormtrooper coming back? Becoming an important character.
I still, I'd be fine if they did a little, if they went full Boba Fett on Captain Phasma and like she wasn't dead.
I mean, I don't give a shit about any of it.
Her comic was cool.
I don't care.
Are you gonna read any of the High Republic shit?
I mean, unless we're doing another podcast,
We're doing a podcast
tell
on
me
it.
to. No.
It's
My
it's
answer
what's his name? Charles Soule.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
They released. So one of the things I've been talking about is, of course, they're gonna, like, we're dealing with Jedi like however many centuries ago. Yoda's there and he's a bit younger. Like, how is this gonna work? They were talking about like redesigning him. It's the same exact fucking design, except he doesn't have old person hair and his robe is like golden. Like, that's literally their redesign. Just the same exact.
We're not getting
like,
we're not getting teen Yoda.
we're not getting Afro Yoda.
Not getting angry, angsty, emo teen Yoda.
Ugh.
Like we did with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 for Groot. We got teen Groot.
Never did see that one.
Did they learn their lesson from that one? Baby Groot, big hit. Teen Groot, less so.
Teen
Nobody
Groot.
likes teenagers.
Yeah.
Because they suck.
Man. What is, like, so I know it got a little fucked up due to COVID. I'm trying to think like what we had coming out. It was Black Widow film is coming out at some point, but delayed.
Yeah, that one's done.
Yeah. Like, what is there?
I mean, the next things for Marvel are TV shows, mostly. There's Black Widow and there's Eternals for movies.
Hmm.
And there's, like...
I think we looked at this.
There's fucking Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Didn't we already have a Winter
And-
Soldier movie? Isn't that a Captain America one?
No, this is the Winter Soldier and Falcon TV show on Disney Plus. And there's WandaVision on Disney Plus. The first two shows. And then there's other ones like What If.
Yeah.
Which is based on a comic where it's just like, what if the Punisher were Captain America? Or whatever.
That's a TV show?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be down if they do like
an anthology
episode.
one.
Yeah, if they do like that sounds
that's one of the
interesting.
planned shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious. For sure.
I mean, right
I
now
want to see what if Carnage what if the Silver Surfer became Carnage? Come on. Give it to me.
I hope they do the Hulk thing where it's like the end of the world and Hulk is like the last thing left alive, except for the giant murder hornets or whatever. That was a cool
Maestro.
comic. That was a cool comic.
I mean, they've done that story a couple times. Maestro.
Anya's brother he's told me a few times now to like I think he keeps forgetting. He asked me if I watch Agents of Shield. I'm like, no, not even once. He's like, you should watch it. It's a good show. I'm like, I can't stress enough how much I don't want to watch it. Like, it's
I haven't
Marvel.
watched any of those
I think it's
Marvel shows.
Isn't it?
I didn't
kind
even
of
watch any of the Netflix ones.
Is it a cop show? I feel like it's a cop show in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like cop shows, and Marvel is okay sometimes.
They did that Inhumans TV show that nobody liked. Apparently,
Is
it
that
had, like, 8
Marvel?
episodes. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's
I mean, I've seen the title bumping around. I didn't know it was a thing.
Inhumans, because the humans are part of like the new Avengers game too. Because Miss Marvel's an Inhuman. Because she was created during the time when they were like, we're gonna make the Inhumans a big thing because we don't have the movie rights to X-Men. So we're gonna make the Inhumans our X-Men. So while that was a thing, they've tried to make the Inhumans big, but now they have the X-Men, so I'm more confused about why the Inhumans why they would do anything with them, except Miss Marvel's a great character.
Sounds messy.
Also, Lockjaw is great. He's Black Bolt's dog who can teleport. He's a big dog who can teleport.
That sounds like the
Dumb.
best thing to come out of Marvel in a minute.
He's got a little prong on his head. I mean, he's a Jack Kirby creation, like most of this shit is. Jack Kirby created the Inhumans. He created the X-Men. He created the Eternals. He created the New Gods. It's all him.
Yeah.
Along with Stan for the Marvel stuff, but
Look, I just want to go back, watch Iron Man, and remember happier times. Simpler times.
really?
Yeah. I mean, from a Marvel perspective.
I mean, I was always waiting for them to get to the part where they're doing fucking weird crossovers and shit. That was for me. It was always, yeah, we got to make all these stupid solo movies so that we can get to the fucking weird shit. Got to get to the fucking nonsense. That's what I craved. We got to do. So you're doing like the 5th time you're doing the thing, so you don't have to do like the rote way to do it. You can do it the fucking crazy way or whatever.
See, it was...
Like, I want the Hulk story where Bruce Banner is the villain and the Hulk is like has to deal with the shit Bruce Banner gets him into.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or I want Immortal Hulk. Or I want Gwenpool.
Gwenpool would be
Gwenpool
real
movie.
good. Gwenpool would be fucking dope.
I want Into the Spider-Verse. That's closer to, you know, the nonsense I want. Where like you're no longer at the point of like this movie has too many villains. Like we have leveled beyond. That was never the problem. The problem was you had these boring villains that were eating up standard movie script screen time.
Seeing Spider-Gwen, like specifically the Venom arc of that,
Yeah.
that'd be some good shit.
Hell yes. Give me any Venom content and I'm in. Literally anything and I'm probably in.
Was there was a Venom movie like semi recently, right? Probably
Yeah,
a few
it
years
starred
ago now
Tom
or something.
Hardy.
Was it good?
I mean, I like it. It was popular. Its sequel is one of the movies that's supposed to have come out this year. With fucking Woody Harrelson as Carnage. As Cletus Cassidy.
Maybe I check it out.
Hell yeah, dude. Tom Hardy gets in a lobster tank. It's great. The Venom symbiote says, I was kind of a loser. Venom fights an evil Venom. Because it's a comic book movie.
I thought Venom was already evil.
Nope.
Okay.
He fights the evil Venom.
Wild.
It's Venom, but he's evil.
Wild.
See, Venom will, like, eat people, but, you know, he's a good guy at heart. But he does eat people's heads. You know, as heroes are wont to do.
Yeah.
He's an anti-hero. He murders people, but he murders bad people. So it's fine. It's fine. And now they can do Venom 2. This time it's a different evil Venom.
Are all evil Venoms just different colors?
Well, the thing was in the first one, he kind of wasn't. He was like a different shade of black.
Great.
It was less exciting. Carnage is at least red. But yeah, then there were, like, in the comics, then there was Separation Anxiety, where there were, like, 5 other symbiotes, and they were all a different color. And none of them had personality.
A different Venom for each of the 7 deadly sins. So we can
A
finally
different
get...
Venom for the day of the week.
So we can finally... Ugh. Lusty Venom and Tuesday Venom are really teaming up in the cocktail lounge.
Wednesday Venom just makes me think of an Addams Family crossover.
Crossover everything. Star
Put
Wars
that on a
Marvel
t-shirt.
crossover. How long before we see
mean-
the Millennium Falcon in the MCU?
Look, there definitely was an X-Men Star Trek comic book that existed just because Patrick Stewart was both Professor X and Jean-Luc Picard.
Hell yeah.
Why does the story exist? Because this actor played both these characters.
How can we not?
Done. For how not? Yeah, that'll be when we're really getting there. If we get like Marvel versus DC, the movie. DC ever get fucking their shit together enough
It
to make
seems
that
like
deal happen?
it seems like they've really been floundering.
They've been doing better
Somehow.
lately than they were before. Like when they were putting out Green Lantern. People didn't like that. People like Joker. I fucking hate Joker. Green Lantern was fine. It was totally mediocre. I fucking hated Joker, but people liked it. It got nominated for an Oscar.
I feel like part of me thinks that I should watch the movie before I talk shit, but the other part of me doesn't care.
I mean, that's how I felt. And I really didn't want to see it. I was like, I'm going to fucking hate this movie. And I was not wrong. I don't really feel like I gained anything from having watched the movie. So I wouldn't recommend it.
That's the fucking thing. Like, there's a part of me that's cute. Like, are all of my preconceived notions about it just dead on? I feel like they are, but I also feel the need to, like, check just to be sure.
Like, Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor.
Yeah,
But that movie is garbage. I still think Martin Scorsese had the right review when he was asked if he had seen it, and he's like, "No, yeah, I got it. I made Taxi. It's fine." Taxi Driver.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's also just the people who really like the Joker are, by and large, not people I want to talk to.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you like him as a villain and that sort of shit, and you're whatever, like, that's fine. But if you're like going full like, you just wouldn't understand, then maybe fuck off.
I mean, it's
gross. It's like I learned with Watchmen. Rorschach is
yeah, not good. Like, I don't understand. I actually don't understand any Joker origin story. I don't like any of them. Like, to me, the Joker, it should exist as like a force of nature that rolls
that he's
in
just there
and does a thing, and then disappears.
Yeah,
it's like I like in The Dark Knight that his character just like vanishes from the movie by the end.
Yeah.
Also, not just that he shows up, also that he just leaves and he's just not in the movie anymore. There's like no end. There's no beginning and there's no end. There's just like the period of time that is Joker time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're big DC event stories where just like, and then the Joker shows up at the end because like he's mad he didn't get invited to the party or whatever.
Yeah,
that's fun.
There's
a character I don't understand. He's not a character.
I feel like there's, I don't know a better comparison to make, though there probably is one, but it seems like there's not, maybe you can confirm or deny that, it seems like there's not much in way of like comic books that doesn't get explained at some point with like characters and origin. Like, you get basically everybody's origin story from like,
nobody ever explained Judas Traveler because nobody ever knew what the fuck his deal was. Nobody knew. It's during the Spider-Man Clone Saga. His character Judas Traveler, who was like like some alternate universe, like he was gonna judge Spider-Man like he was Q on Star Trek or something, but nobody ever had a plan for what he was doing. Nobody knew what his explanation was. Like, there was a lot of writing by the seat of your pants at Marvel around that time.
Gotcha.
Like, there was a big villain, Onslaught, who got introduced because Juggernaut showed up and said he was beaten up by someone named Onslaught. That was written with no idea for what Onslaught was. They're just like, we'll just put this here, and somebody else will figure it out later.
Yeah.
There's a lot of writing by the seat of your pants, and also like the company was going through bankruptcy, so not a lot of giving a shit. Mostly about stringing people along, keep doing the thing that was working. So the Clone Saga just got dragged out and didn't get to be like a story with an end. Onslaught turned out to be Professor X, but also Magneto, because Professor X had like mind broken Magneto to make him not evil. So then the evil Magneto part was in Professor X's mind. And
yeah, I mean, that's how it
with
works.
Professor X's evil parts and became Onslaught, and then he like became his own thing.
Weird.
And then he also absorbed X-Man, who's alternate universe Cable, and Franklin Richards, the son of Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm, who had like who has reality shaping abilities. And then the way the heroes beat him was they all jumped into him after he'd become like a weird universe thing with no body, and they jumped into him and sacrifice themselves so that he'd die, and then that worked, and the mutants couldn't do it because they made him stronger, so the only mutants were left, and then Franklin somehow passively saved all the heroes by putting them in his ball. So then there was an alternate universe that existed in Franklin Richards' bouncy blue ball that was an excuse for creators at Image to relaunch all the Marvel books in a new continuity with new number ones. So you had Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee drawing Avengers and Iron Man and Fantastic Four.
Comics are fucking wild.
That lasted for like a year.
Comics are
and then they all
wild.
came back.
Every single time.
And that's where I started reading comics.
Oh my god.
That's where I got into comics, buying the last issue of the Onslaught story, and then buying all those number ones for the Avengers, Fantastic Four. Like I had some Spider-Man comics before that, but when I really started weekly collecting comics was right there. It's like new number ones, dude. Easy to jump on point. Rob Liefeld drawing Captain America. Hell yeah. Let's go. Way too many muscles. It is a story where Galactus shows up, and then every issue was, and Galactus won, so Doctor Doom had to travel back in time to try again. And they did that for 3 issues in a row, and then the 4th time they did it, they won.
Yay. 4th time's the charm.
Hell yeah, dude. Also, the Thor turned out to be a fake Thor, and then real Thor showed up, so there were 2 Thors. And then the other Thor died at the end of that story. So they solved that problem of the 2 Thors. And there's a thing where Bruce Banner... So, Hulk got really mad. Jean Grey like psychically probed him to make him really mad, because at the time Hulk was smart Hulk. He didn't have any anger issues. He was like Banner but Hulk. But then like they needed to punch Onslaught, so Hulk was like, Jean Grey, make me really mad. So she did, and he got really mad, and he punched Onslaught so hard that he punched the Banner out of himself. So Bruce Banner and the Hulk were separated. And then Bruce Banner jumped into Onslaught, but the Hulk stayed around. So you had Hulk in this new universe so you had Banner in the new universe, who then became the Hulk again. And he was like Hulk with long hair, because Rob Liefeld drew him with long hair, and also naked. And then you had Hulk in the regular universe, and he was like dying but getting stronger all the time. Like he was like a little existential crisisy, because that's what the writer was into. And he became a horseman of apocalypse for a while. It became war. But
Starred in the Darksider franchise.
He was only doing that because he wanted to get the voice of Bruce Banner's abusive father out of his head. Because there was like a 0 issue during that run that revealed that Bruce Banner was the Hulk because his dad beat him. And the Hulk was mad, and he was just getting stronger, and then eventually he just wanted to fight Banner. So like then there, when the universes came together, there were 2 Hulks, and they were gonna fight, and also Spider-Man was there for some reason. And then eventually they got merged again, and that story kind of petered out with no real conclusion. Then Bruce Banner Hulk again. Hooray! But that Hulk without Banner was fun. He was like just mad. He was like he wasn't super dumb. He was like just angry. He was just an angry guy.
How do you remember all this stuff?
Because
so
I
much.
read it. I don't know. How do you remember any Star Wars thing?
I don't. It's just guesswork.
I mean, these are comics I read like a million times, because for some of this stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I'm also like being pretty broad. I'm not like getting into details or anything.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. There's so much like so much of it just goes in one eye and out the other because I'm reading it, not listening. I don't know. Even for like some stuff it sticks. I mean, it's like random shit, like those random facts, those random Wikipedia facts from like junior high. That's the stuff I remember.
Yeah, I have a pretty good memory for media and a pretty bad memory about like, did I eat today? Anything practical, I'm pretty fucking terrible at. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's there are things I just like remember really well, and there's things I can't remember for the fucking life of me. So, brains are weird.
I mean, probably
comic books, high priority, clearly though. That shit. And I remember movies really well too.
I'm pretty
like I've kind of stopped. Like I don't rewatch movies as much as I used to because I fucking remember them mostly.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with films generally speaking.
Like the one I really don't remember is Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, which I thought was like possibly a movie I imagined for a really long time. I would like dream about it.
That's
like specifically wild. The part where like there are robot versions of them.
Yeah.
And they takes out his eyeball, like that. I have the dreams about that part a lot. So I have strong like emotional memories of that movie, and I fucking don't remember the plot at all.
I remembered so much random shit from that one. I watched it a bunch, but I was younger, and it's been a long while.
Again, for a while, I was like, is this like a Wayne's World movie or something? I just did not have the memory to put it. I didn't have the pieces to put it together.
Yeah.
It's a mystery to me.
Man.
It's like, no, these are the plots of the Wayne's World movies. It doesn't have the thing. Neither of these movies have robot duplicates. What the fuck was that movie?
Hell yeah, dude. I've been there. You know what? That happens to me with music sometimes. There was like that week period maybe a little more, where I was like freaking out because I couldn't figure out the name of a song. Turned out to be Grease by Frankie Valli. The only part I remembered were the fucking horns in the beginning.
There's plenty of music I don't know the names of, because so much of my early music was so absorbing. Life was passive. It was just like the music that existed. So like, particularly for like classic rock stuff, it's just like I like a lot of it, but I don't have like knowledge of who any of the groups who do songs are, or which ones are. Yeah. Like I've pieced together stuff over time, but like my baseline was just like, if I heard a song, like, yeah, this is a good song. This slaps or whatever.
I think my longest record for finding, like, enjoying a song when I was super little and not being able to find that song for like a large chunk of my life was Shakira's Whenever Wherever. Heard those pan flutes in the song, really enjoyed it when I was super little. I thought about it on and off for like the next 20 years, and then like, I don't know, however long ago, when I got a shitload of Shakira albums, and I'm listening through them, I'm like, oh my god, this is it. It's finally over. I can die now.
That's pretty good. I had to think, like, at some point I had a tape recorder and I was just humming this melody, this repeating melody into it for a long time. I was like, what is it? What is that? Turns out it was the American theme song to Dragon Ball Z.
Weird.
It was like the build-up part of it. And I didn't even remember that I'd watched Dragon. Like, I must have seen it like fucking once, and it just completely wormed its way into my brain. Just that song. Because like I encountered Dragon Ball Z later, and I didn't like remember having watched it before.
I mean, Dragon Ball Z was trash. All he did was run on that pathway constantly. That's all he ever did, was running on the pathway.
That's because it's filler.
No, I think it's because it was part of the intro.
Manga. Not in the manga. Read the manga.
No.
Comic books are good.
I've read the manga. Actually, that's not true. I'm like one for 3. I read the Shaman
It's
King
hard to
manga. And that was
the Dragon Ball show has a much better pacing, but the problem is, it's fucking Master Roshi is gross.
Yeah,
he spies on Bulma in the bathroom. She's a child. It's not okay.
Yeah,
it's not okay. But Goku's really strong. Okay, and that's good. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Krillin doesn't have a nose. He beats the smelly guy because he realizes he doesn't have a nose. And then he farts in the smelly guy's face.
I mean, now is the perfect time to get into the Berserk manga.
Ugh. I fucking hated that show. I hate that show.
Okay. Up until like the very end, though, how was it? I don't know if I ever asked that when we watched
Not
it.
good enough to justify how much I hate the very end. Like, that end is so abhorrent to me that, like, the rest of it I barely remember. Honestly. Like, I don't remember the rest of it.
Wow.
It was like where is this going? Oh,
wow.
It's going to the worst place. Okay. I don't know. I care about where stories go. I care about endings and like.
I mean, yeah,
where a story is pointing to, and what a story decides it's about. Because like that's the thing of an ending that matters. It's like, what does the person who wrote this? What do they think the story they were telling was? regardless of like what I felt it was up to this point, what did they decide mattered here? And like where they end it is like
I mean,
where they get to hit that nail or whatever. And do they hit a fucking, do they punch through drywall or do they have a proper stud?
yeah. No, they.
I just thought much clearly about this, like since there was a movie Phoenix, and its ending was so fucking good. Like it ended at exactly the right moment that I'm like, oh, endings really matter. Like it's hard to pick when to end, but when you do it right, it's so fucking good.
Phantom Thread made me realize that.
Man.
That movie, like I was kind of going back and forth on it, then the ending hit, and I'm like, nope, this is fucking great. Like this is a great film.
Yeah. Like that's like you can turn it around. You can turn something that was good into something great, and something that was good into well, that was a waste of time.
No, I mean, yeah, the Berserk anime goes for the shock value shit. And I like people are like you and they say that they fucking hate that ending. That makes sense. That checks out.
I mean, I hate all the events of that thing too. Like even if that wasn't where the story ended, that was like just a piece of the story, I would still probably be out.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. They made it extra bad though cuz that's like not an ending and also the beginning of this isn't the beginning. I don't know. They do a little like because it's like in the past, right? And then in the very beginning, like the first episode is technically in the present when he's like fighting the demon. There's way more shit that they established. Like this, it makes it seem like this is where it starts and this is how the manga starts, and it doesn't. It's yeah. I mean, it's still bad, but like it's less.
I should watch the
garbage.
other Berserk anime. People
Nope,
like that
don't
one,
do
right?
That. Nope. That's imagine, dude. That one. They. Have you seen like what the biggest problem with that one is? Like from a story
Well, that
perspective?
the animation was garbage, but they cleaned it up a little bit for DVD releases, apparently.
The animation was garbage. I think that's the one, to my knowledge. They keep like. They go back to that scene so many times.
Oh god.
Like they do flashbacks more than the manga. The manga does at like points that would make sense for someone with PTSD. Like he sees something happening and he remembers that and it like whatever.
But instead it does like anime bullshit.
In the anime, in the fucking anime,
constantly.
it's just like him walking down the path. Boom, flashback. Like it's fucking. It's abhorrent.
Pad this out.
Yeah,
it's
animating
rough. New stuff.
It's bad. Like in every sense of the word. It's not. Ugh.
Look, man, you just need to read an Urasawa manga, and I'll be happy. And I'm saying read Pluto, which is the adaptation of an Astro Boy story.
Urasawa's Jite? Jit?
No.
Okay. The Magic the Gathering reference for anyone not.
Yeah, I understood.
I know you understood. I'm not explaining for you, Mr.
Look, you fight Jite by playing fucking Snake Boy. I can't remember his name now. But you can sacrifice him to find a basic land. So you can block, then sack him so that they don't deal combat damage so they don't get Jite counters. And if you don't have that, then you're fucked. That was my experience of playing Jank against Jite at the time. Trying to just buy a few turns where I can prevent them from dealing their combat damage to get their counters, or else I'm totally fucked.
Great.
You need creatures that can die before combat damage is dealt, or whatever.
Ugh, I still remember when that was like. I think that was right. That changed like right after I started playing. So there was like. It was a. It was a bumpy intro to some of the weirder mechanics of Magic. Like,
Hmm?
I was playing a game, and the guy did that thing, right, where you sacrifice the thing, and then before damage is done, and all this other bullshit. But like,
Well,
it
what it
did.
used to be is damage would go on the stack, and
Yes.
then you could sec, which is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how it
Ah.
works now, because
Okay.
your sec. It was like a trick to not do the thing you would normally do, which would be to let damage happen and then sack it. It was to sack it before damage was when it happened, so that GTA wouldn't get counters.
Hmm.
As opposed to the thing that like the rule that changed card is like you would have Mog Fanatic, which is a 1/1 you could sacrifice to deal 1 damage, and you could block a 2/2 with it. Damage would go on the stack, then you could sack it to deal an extra damage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just
So
that damage would go
I.
on the stack. Like, if you understand how the stack works, damage would go on the stack. Now, damage doesn't go on the stack, so you can't respond to it, like, as a
Yeah.
thing that is going to
The
happen but hasn't happened yet.
so the first time I played, it was the old way. And people were like, "No, this absolutely works. Like, it's just a bit confusing, but this is how it works." Like, I stopped playing for a while, just didn't get fully into it. And when I came back,
Yeah.
it had changed, and I tried doing the cheeky thing somehow with whatever card it was,
Yeah.
and like it was just coincident. Like the people there were just like rude as shit about it. It doesn't work that way. There was a rule change. I'm like, well, okay, fucking assholes.
I mean, technically, it working with it being damage on the stack was also a rule change. It's just one they rolled back, basically.
Mm.
Because, like, at one point, they're like, it would make sense if, it's the stack. It's great. Put everything on the stack. And then they're like,
Yeah,
it's easier for new players if damage doesn't go on the stack. Because this horse shit then happens, and it annoys them. Because there's nothing on the cards that, like, intuitively lets them understand this rule correctly.
yeah. Well, fucking, I think the thing now is like probably the one of the more difficult things is like the layer system.
What do you mean?
There's like it's also not something that's like super intuitive, but it's the thing of like if this card is being changed into something else by a different card, but a third card is also changing the original card, and then like all the like priorities and that effect.
Like trying to understand how humility is working in an EDH game or
basically.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah, in EDH that's definitely like the easiest to the hardest thing to understand. Because you can have so many different effects stacking on top of each
Right,
other.
the seven layers
Yeah.
and sub layers. Amazing.
Like, because, yeah, there's like transformation, there's counters, there's enchantments.
I mean,
There's
I'll
global
hit you with them
enchantments.
quick. I'll hit you with them quick.
Yeah, sure.
1, copy effects. 2, control changing effects. 3, text changing effects. 4, type changing effects. 5, color changing effects. 6, ability adding or removing effects. 6A, effects from power toughness affecting characteristic defining ability. 6B, any power toughness setting effects. 6C, any power toughness changing effect that doesn't set. 7, for some reason 7 is like in the middle here. It looks like 7D, power toughness changes from counters, and 7E effects that switch power toughness.
Yeah. And then all of those also, it depends which one's the last to happen.
Yeah.
because the last thing that like affected the board is the priority, usually. But what can it overwrite?
Ugh. Complex example.
Magic's a complex game, and it's hilarious that like the most popular casual form is the most rules complex version. EDH is fucking super complicated.
Let's say you have. This is a simple example. See if you can answer the question.
Let's say it's hard to play online.
Let's say you have grizzly bears. You attack with it, but before blockers are declared, you cast Giant Growth, targeting your grizzly bears to make him bigger.
Hell yeah.
After the growth resolves, but still before blockers are chosen, your opponent casts Ovenize, which is target creature loses all abilities and becomes 0/1 until end of turn. On your grizzly bears, what does your bear look like?
It becomes a 0/1. Doesn't it? If Great Giant Growth is resolved?
I can't tell because the image of the result is broken. Oh, that's so disappointing. No. Okay. MTG Grizzly Bears.
Like if it had a 1/1 counter on it, then the 1/1 counters would also still affect it, but I think it just becomes an 0/1. If the new card is setting it to an 0/1.
Okay. There no, it's a 2/3.
What?
Why is
it a 2/3?
You attack with it before. Oh wait, sorry. I found another example, but it's doing Mighty Leap instead of Giant Growth.
Oh.
So if we're doing Mighty Leap, which I also can't find the right picture for. God, these people. Either way, it seems like the Giant Growth, like...
Are they doing it before the spell resolves? I don't understand.
No, it says after the growth resolves.
Okay.
Let's see. Because it's a different layer, I think. Because one of them is...
It might work that way. If it works that way, that's dumb, honestly.
I think they work on different layers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at these cards. I don't know if there's specific wording that makes it weird or whatever. But...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It doesn't sound right, but...
I mean, do you want me? I'll read again, we can't see the answer, but I'll read the complex one.
I don't... If you can't see the answer, I don't want it.
But it's a little...
No, I don't care. If there's not a definitive answer, I definitely don't want that.
There was an answer.
That doesn't matter. You're sorry. This is garbage to me. You're presenting me with garbage.
There's a quiz that has answers.
When was the quiz written? 'Cause I would love if we were doing this and it's like old rules.
It's not old rules, but all these are like older. When was this written? 2009.
That's way
probably
too
not
long
old
ago
enough
for me to trust it.
Oh, too long ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not like they don't change the rules occasionally. I don't remember the last time they would have, but
yeah.
I mean, if you just want to play Magic with older rules, I'm down. Let's play some middle school Magic.
Oh, we need to do our tiny nightmares still.
Oh, that's true. I don't think I finished my sideboard.
I also did not finish my sideboard. I think my deck is trash also, but a sideboard would at least help.
Fair enough. You don't want to play middle school and play with damage on the stack and fetch lands, but no shocks or dual lands?
Sounds gross.
It's Magic the way I played it. It was meant to be played by me. Well, that's not true. I played with Tolarian Academy, so I'm just a piece of garbage. Played casual tabletop Tolarian Academy.
I feel like the way I would have played Magic would have been similar to the way I played Yu-Gi-Oh! If I had played it instead. Which was just put all of your fucking cards into one big deck and then play for like 3 hours.
Oh yeah. But I was playing at... This was when I was like playing in high school every day. So I got ambitious and I was like, Glacial Chasm deck. The entire point of my deck is to be able to win when my opponent can take infinite turns.
Hank, we're in
But I know
business.
his deck only has creatures.
We're in fucking business. I'd hit up archive.com and they have the same page, but it has the images.
Oh, when is it from? If we're going into the archives, maybe it's not rules legal currently.
No, I mean, it's the same
How
exact
trust it.
page.
Yeah.
I don't know that these have changed.
I
since
don't
then.
know. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the layers system has not changed.
Okay.
I mean, I can. We'll check the wiki, the real source of information.
Pretty sure Ask a Judge is the real source of information. You can live ask a judge any question. Although they
No, these.
I did have to. The last time I used that, it was to ask about a thing that happened on Arena because I was pretty sure the thing that happened on Arena didn't make any sense. And? I think I got confirmed that Arena didn't know what the fuck it was doing.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. This is the layers are the same. Like that's been.
Yeah.
It's the same. At least the 7 and all of that shit. So, for our original thing, just to confirm now, based on the layer system, the grizzly bears, the order that happened, just to remind, grizzly bears are attacking.
What is that spell that's setting it to 0? What is it? Like the wording on it?
Target creature loses all abilities and becomes 0/1 until end of turn.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it gets set to be a 0/1, but the effect of giant growth is still on it. So it's a 3/4.
Yes.
Is that the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the way this happens in the layers is layer 6, it loses all abilities, and then layer 7B, it becomes a 0/1, and 7C, it gets +3/+3.
Yeah. Because the giant growth effect is still sitting on the layer. I get it.
Do you want to land one? These are all cards you know.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the land one. A dependent effect will usually affect either more or less objects if applied after the different effect it is dependent on. A simple example. Both Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth and Blood Moon are on the battlefield. What does my Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth look like?
It's a mountain.
Yeah. If we try to apply Blood Moon before or after Urborg, Blood Moon will affect the same number of lands. However, if we apply Urborg after Blood Moon, then Urborg loses its ability and affects no lands.
Yeah.
That makes Urborg dependent on Blood Moon, so Blood Moon's effect has to be applied before Urborg, no matter which has the older timestamp. Pow.
Pow. I gotcha. Once I started thinking four-dimensionally, it was easy.
That sounds like something. That sounds like
That's
me.
the infomercial for becoming a magic judge. Once I started thinking four-dimensionally, it was easy.
That sounds like the way I was thinking when I fucked up really bad in that arena game. And I thought I was going to lose, and then the other dude fucked up worse than I did, and he lost.
Classic.
The best way to win.
Recently, still, when I'm like in the middle of a game and like then my opponent just randomly concedes and I have no idea why, but I won. So
I mean,
I'll take it.
I've been there. Sometimes you just got to go do shit, man. That's why arena has wrecked me. Being able to just leave a game with no consequences, sign me up.
What if you're doing ranked? You'll lose
I
a
still
small amount of ranking.
Don't care. If it's bad, like ranked, I give it a little bit more, and I know that good game theory in many cases, it's like you play it out till the end just in case, right? Like something could happen, and especially on like maybe they'd have to go more than you do for some reason, and they do just concede and you somehow win. Like that, there's a chance that could happen. No.
That's not actually good game theory if you're trying to rank up on arena. Like the amount of time it takes to do anything actually matters. So if a game, you're probably not going to win and the game's going to take forever, like your EV for ranking up actually makes more, like those rules don't apply. Those are like for tournament rules where every game is.
If you're someone who plays both, though, then you would probably do it on arena as well.
I don't think that's. I think people who grind just are doing the grind to grind it or whatever. I don't think that's a thing.
Well, then why the fuck do they wait till
practice learning that because you don't know?
So that's
bad all these aspiring tournament players that. I mean, that's who you're playing, right? Like, you're playing people who are as skilled as you, but are like, I'm going to level up. I'm going to be the pro. So, they do the pro things that they have heard about.
Bad practice to play it out until the bitter end.
As has done.
Good practice to wait till the end of your opponent's turn 1 to crack that fabled passage.
You don't want to give them information.
Don't even fucking start. Ugh. What do you think's gonna happen? I
don't see how that is more annoying for you than it is for them.
It's just annoying.
Like the reason I would crack my fabled passage on my turn is because I don't want to have to think about it at the end of your turn. I don't want to have to think about that trigger. Yeah. I don't understand how me doing it on my turn and me doing it at the end of your turn matters to you.
It matters to me in the sense that I think the reason people do it oftentimes is to prevent them from getting any extra information when it is like
but why do you care?
9 times
it's
out of 10
it's actually any different amount of time for the way it goes.
I care because it's the same people that say like playing one extra fetch or something.
So you're just judging people. That's what you're saying. You're just annoyed at their way they play Magic. Judge here.
Yes.
I'm just saying don't give a shit. It's fine. Whatever. Let people be.
I don't want to let them be.
Your fabled patches is.
I mean, I'm gonna play out the
You're
game.
Only hurting yourself.
It is my God-given right to roll my eyes at someone who is cracking their fabled passage on my turn.
You're allowed to get angry, but you're
Angry is too
Just
strong a
ruining
word.
your own
Angry is
time.
too strong a word. I mean, now it's in the same realm. I gotta know where you stand. Are you one of the people that thinks putting in like there are people who put in like obviously your call about one of my past decks about putting in Fable Passage because it helps with Uwu. That's a great call. I hadn't thought about that, and it made a lot of sense, and it actually did improve things. Like I noticed visibly, like it was more consistent. And that was very helpful.
You need food for Uro. It's very important.
Yeah. Obviously for color fixing, like Fabled Passage is very good. Would you say that Fabled Passage is worth adding to a monocolored deck simply
No.
for the
No.
what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? I can't think
Deck
of it.
thinning.
Deck thinning. Yes.
No, deck thinning is mostly worthless.
Yeah.
At that for like one card, and the downside of having your possibly like only having a Fabled Passage on turns 1 to 3 and it's tapped is way worse. That downside is way worse than
But see, there are still people who
minor
will do
upside of deck thinning.
That. There are absolutely people who will do it though.
I
That annoys
don't
me.
think I've ever seen that actually on Arena. Of people
On
playing
Arena, I don't
Fabled
know that I've
Passage
seen it,
in-
but I've definitely seen like someone came out with it. Like people get into argue like pretty chunky arguments over it, like with the math and everything. Even on like EDH, someone was like, "You should absolutely play every fetch you can for deck thinning." People are like, "Is 100 like is it really going to thin your deck that much in 100 cards?" Like the math is it's absolutely minuscule.
No, the deck thinning. If someone's arguing for deck thinning, it's dumb. It's
Yeah.
a waste of time. It's not a lot. Like it's there's if you're trying to maximize every fucking angle, but it's so fucking small. It's not.
See, and that's what annoys
Moving
me.
the needle.
That's what mildly irks me.
I don't.
Because to me, that's in the same realm. Someone doing something that is such a minor benefit that it's not really worth doing.
I mean,
That's where it
I mean,
gets
if
to
it's
me.
minor benefit, it's not worth doing is different. Like the thing with the Fabled Passage in a monocolor deck is there's actually a downside. If there's not a downside, then like fucking whatever, do it. It's like is there a trade-off here? Because if there's a trade-off, it's probably not worth it.
I've seen. Well,
And
I think
people can be wrong. It's fine.
I
Who
think
cares?
people.
It's think about it
I've
for
seen-
what you feel like you should be doing. Don't
I
worry
feel like
about what
people
other
saw
are doing.
maybe. I don't know if you would have seen this. There was I don't know if it was a legacy match or a modern match. And
I mean, if it was Legacy, I definitely didn't see it. If it was Modern, I probably didn't see it.
I just know this guy, like, guy 1 and guy 2, it's game 1, and guy 1, like, throws down, and I don't know if it was an island or if it was a fetch, and it was like the, whatever color combination of fetch. Guy 2 immediately scoops, and, like, goes to game 2 and sideboards, because that was enough to tell him whatever thing. Like, he knew what colors he was against. And he went on to win game 2 and 3. And I feel like people see that and they're like, that's me. I can't let the opponent know I have a forest or something.
Whatever. I mean, if people think that's them, let them be wrong and beat them. Whatever. I don't get why you're so judgy about the way other people play Magic.
Because I'm young and fiery, Hank.
The way you do it is you go, oh, I see.
I'm getting better.
That's dumb.
Look,
I won't do that.
maybe someday,
Don't be that guy.
maybe someday,
fine.
many things about me will be different. Maybe I won't judge others for being stupid in Magic the Gathering. Maybe I'll be able to look at box cutters without thinking about them running down my arms at a vertical angle.
They're
It's not today.
sleeved, Ben. They're
Ah,
in sleeves.
they're not
It's
though.
just
What
a-
if you hit the button? What if the button fails? What if the catch fails?
There's no button.
What if
It's like
someone's-
literally just a sleeve?
Ah, that's even
They've
worse.
come. Okay, I keep them in my butt pocket
Oh,
They like slip out all the time. It doesn't matter.
they're gonna
I'm not
slice everything.
I
They're
have like
gonna fall out of your
6 of
pocket,
them in
and it's
there.
gonna drag.
If I like poked myself, I would feel it, and it would go, "Oh, that's no good." Like at worst, I'm getting a little cut. Like box cutters suck.
They're never just
Like it has to be a lot of force. The way you hurt yourself with a box cutter is you're cutting
I've
a
seen
box.
Marriage
and you're
Story. I know how you hurt yourself with a box cutter. They're cursed. They're cursed objects. I hate them so much. I'm so warm right now. I don't like it.
I mean, that was him literally cutting himself, fake cutting himself with it. It's different.
The box cutter would fall out of your pocket, and then if it was the kind where the blade retracts, somehow the blade would come out, and it would like slice all the way down the back of your leg, and they're cursed. They're cursed.
You're being irrational.
I don't like them.
I mean, I'm not telling you. Like, I mean, obviously you're wrong, but I understand that this is just a fear, and like, whatever words I say don't matter. You're just scared of it. But just know that the facts are.
It's like
you don't have to feel this way, but the facts are, they're not scary.
Do you know what the Call of the Void is?
They're not dangerous objects.
Do you know what Call of
These
the
aren't
Abyss
like,
is?
particularly those. Like they're mostly dull from having like glue all over them from tape. Like those razor blades would not do much damage.
Curse word. I think it's like, yeah, I think it's definitely just the imagery. It's like a Call of the Void thing. I don't know. I literally cannot see one without like.
They're like, it's like holding trading cards in your hand. Like I like to shuffle them. I want to have one of each color. Got to collect them all.
Devil spawn. He's a devil spawn.
They're a useful tool for when you need to open a box and you don't want it to be a pain in the fucking ass. It's taped shut.
I'd rather have
That's
it be
the
a
most
pain in the
important thing. Sometimes you just find them lying around, and I'm like, this shouldn't just be sitting here unattended on the floor. Oh, I found another box cutter. Another one of those bigger ones.
I think
like
the ones, the angled ones with the retractable blade, those ones get me more. Those are like the peak.
I mean, those are.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. They're potentially sharper, but again, these are cheap, dull blades that I have. So
maybe it's because they're like.
But they're bigger knives. They're,
sneaky.
I don't know.
The ones I've honestly.
I mean, they're less likely to pop out in your pocket of their sleeve. They're technically safer in your pocket. I don't know. And I've accidentally cut myself with box cutters, but it's not a big deal. A little cut on my hand.
It's definitely like
paper cuts also are terrible.
Paper cuts are fucking cursed.
So I don't understand. Like, yeah, I'm holding a stack of paper in my hand. It'd be like just as dangerous.
You know, one of my
probably more.
One thing I fucking hate
sleeved.
When I am giving someone a piece of paper or a couple papers and they feel the need to like rip it out of my hands. Like that's a prime way to cut me, and I don't like it. Maybe it's because I forget if have I told you the corn husk story?
Maybe I don't remember.
Come up? Okay.
If you have.
When I was younger, we were husking corn as you do to eat it, and I was going to pull off like the bottom part, like part of the stalk, and it was like. I mean, basically, like, the shape, it was, like, sturdy paper. Sturdy. Definitely not going to come off. Kind of thin edges. And young, innocent, stupid fucking me decides to just grip it and rip it. I sliced all of my fingers. Like, a paper cut across all of my fingers. I don't husk corn anymore. I stay away from that shit. I can't do it. So that's probably something to do with it. That was terrible. It was like, not only did it hurt, but just the idea. I hate, terrible. Ugh. No, I think box cutters, like, I'm actually fine using them. I'm totally fine, like, handling one.
That's hilarious, because that's when they're dangerous.
No, I'm fine using
applying pressure.
I'm fine using them. I don't like them when they're just laying there menacingly. Like, that's when they could fucking jump at you. I don't know.
That's when they're haunted by a ghost.
Yeah, dude, I told you they're cursed. It's literal.
No, the only thing that's cursed is Luke S.
Look, if I am in a torture situation and someone if someone is like gonna torture me and they pull out a box cutter, they're getting every piece of information that I had on me. Everything.
That's your salt. They just said person walks in and places a box cutter sheathed on the table in front of you.
There doesn't even need to be a blade in it.
And then after they get all the information out of you, they unsleeve it and there's no razor blade in it.
I mean, I would. It's
no
worth.
knife.
That's a worthy. I would have like. It doesn't even matter. I'm not taking that chance. You never take that chance. What's the? I forget what film it's from or show or whatever. Like, I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me. Like, that's it's a box cutter, baby.
They're knives. They're as dangerous as, you know.
Also, not a huge fan of scalpels. Scalpels are a little better.
Again, they're all tools. The thing that matters is the hands in which they are being wielded.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I don't like the the triangle scalpels, but the ones with the rounded
just like
look are fine.
Look, you're more likely to die to a car than a box cutter.
That's so much better death.
Don't agree. I don't think.
What? Oh,
I don't want to be smushed.
Sometimes I feel like watching Constantine again, and I know that I'm gonna have to get to that scene. It's not worth it. John Wick 2 is bad enough. Fucking Ty. I even asked him if there were any slicey scenes, and he said no, and then we get to that one. Son of a bitch. You know what?
Does 3 have an eye thing? I don't fucking remember. Does 3 have an eye thing or something?
Do I have an eye thing?
Does John Wick 3, is there like an eye violence part? I don't remember if that's John Wick or something else.
That might have been it. I think he puts he like digs his thumbs into somebody's eye or something. That sounds correct. I forget if there's like actually stabbing someone in the eye or anything. Between the two of them, I would rather see the hammer scene from what's that movie we watched? An Attack on a Building.
The Raid.
The Raid.
Redemption.
Raid. That hammer scene is far preferred to any box cutter scene.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't like the scene in the Raid 2 where the guy's having a conversation and then periodically slits someone's neck. Like he's got a bunch of people lined up. And then
that's no good. This
literally
this started because of the scene in Breaking Bad where someone gets their throat slit with a box cutter. That's no good. That shit is no good. Smashy is better than
It's also
slicey.
scary. Water's terrifying.
I mean,
You do all sorts of horrible things with water.
I mean, considering
I ruined my computer.
Considering I almost choked to death
My
on
magic
water
cards.
once a month.
That time I left my magic cards out on the windowsill and they got rained on.
Oh, hell yeah. You leave it in your leave a card in your pocket, it goes through the wash.
I did not know how to properly deal with that at the time. Because I guess there's a way, but I definitely didn't do it.
Yeah.
Peeling cards apart. Got cards with big white spots on them where they've been torn apart from another card.
Yeah. I mean, deep water is its own.
I couldn't bring myself to just throw them out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they could still be worth money.
Damaged Island. Definitely worth a lot. Water damaged island.
Heavily played.
Yeah, man. Heavily.
Heavily. Yeah, all right. It's been like 2 hours. I don't know why I said like. It's been 2 hours. We had some laughs.
Been 2 hours and a minute.
Some cursed topics.
Some cursed.
Fine.
I'll never get over Luke S, dude.
Lucas.
I'm never gonna get over that.
What if it's subconscious? What if it wasn't an actual decision?
No, because the thing... So I found it because I was reading TV tropes. And the thing was, it was about Mark Hamill realizing that Luke was George Lucas. And, like, in parentheses, it said Luke S. Get it?
Oh my god.
But the reason he realized it was because he did a line reading and George told him it was wrong. And he realized the way he needed to do it was the way that George speaks.
That's great. Hell
You
yeah.
have to fit it to the George Lucas tenor. Or whatever.
That's really good.
Man, we should watch
Lucy.
movies again sometime or something.
Yeah, that'd be decent. I mean, you have some anime to watch.
It's true.
I also have some anime to watch. Some of those I gotta dip into again.
I want to watch that Charlie Kaufman movie.
I actually also want to see it. Me and Anya finished the movie and that came up. And at first it looked kind of like a romance, and Anya like started watching the trailer. We got like 30 seconds in and she was like looking, she's like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Like, it's scary. Doesn't like it.
Scary.
She does
The
not
most
like
romantic
that
of
stuff.
those movies is definitely Eternal Sunshine.
She did not like that one either because it was creepy. Like, the vibe of the whole thing was creepy.
I mean, it is about wiping minds.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that one's at least sweet.
Yeah.
Ultimately. I guess adaptation is sweet, ultimately.
Yeah, in a way.
I feel like the important part is that it becomes a crime thriller. That's the
Yeah.
important thing.
Dude,
The lesson to how do you adapt something boring? Make it a crime thriller.
World's End, though.
Oh yeah, you watched that.
Fucking, I do not
That's
know.
a weird movie.
I do not know how I didn't accidentally spoil myself in the last however long, not knowing that it had such a huge twist. The hilarious part was we opted to watch that over Sorry Not to Bother You because I wasn't sure if Anya would like the twist. Pretty good.
The thing with World's End is like it's such an old man movie. Like its attitude about the world is like, oh, how everything's changed and we're washed now or whatever.
Yeah.
About, like being old.
Yeah.
It's definitely like of all Edgar Wright's movies, it's the one that most feels like it was made by an old man.
I mean, I can see that. I took it as like the one.
I'm just sensitive
Yeah.
to the perspective of old men making movies.
Yeah.
It's like actually ruined recent Pixar releases for me because I can't unsee it. Toy Story 4 was a bad time.
I
Incredibles 2, bad time.
World's End just felt to me like it did feel like the what's his name, Simon Pegg.
Hmm.
Felt like his
That's who
character
I was trying to
was
think of earlier, who was in Force
okay.
Awakens as the fucking traitor dude
Hmm.
on Ray's home planet. He's like under a
Okay.
bunch of prosthetic stuff, so you can't tell it's him, but it
I
was
did
him
not
under
know it
there.
was him.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, I felt like the movie did, like maybe it wasn't strong enough on it, but I felt like his character was in the wrong and everybody else was in the right for like, yo, we're not still like you have the same. Yo, where did you find this cassette that I made you in high school or whatever? Like it was still in the car, man. What are you talking about? Like just
Yeah.
never. And then he gets rewarded in the end.
Hmm.
Like I kind of I feel that sometimes, but the other movie we watched the other day, which we had both seen before, he's not that into you. Have you ever done it up?
Nope. That one I have not seen.
Chick flick. So I've seen it like 4 times, and
Hmm.
most of those were a long time ago. That movie did not age well, in the sense that but also, when we were talking, was that last time we were talking about like women in movies and like how they're portrayed and what they talk about and all that
Hmm.
stuff. Fucking abysmal. Just the worst. Literally, all of the women
Yeah.
are just fucking obsessed with getting a guy. Like that's their motive in life is to get married. And if they're not, it's like that's one of the girls' arcs is maybe I don't need a man in my life and I can just love myself. Like it was terrible. And even though that's the prime focus, I still am not sure that the women got more speaking time somehow. Like, it was fucking terrible in just about every way it could
Ugh.
be. And I'm like, I've seen this 4 times now. I think that number might not go up again. Like, it was bad. And some
Yeah.
like I know it's a rom com. Like if I go to Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, I'm not looking for the highbrow commentary on society. I just want a good
Yeah.
time. But this one was too rough. It was very not good.
Yeah.
Ugh. But yeah, it was. I thought it was topical that we just talked about that, and then this happened.
There are a lot of bad movies.
There are a lot of bad
A
movies.
lot of movies with bad representations of women. Just not not done well.
Yeah.
Not done well.
Yep.
They
Calling
have women in them sometimes though.
it? Oh
It's,
no.
you know, something. I don't know. You talking about bad rom coms just reminds me we need to do the Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight trilogy. Not that those
That's
are rom coms, but they're like the
that. Hang
antithesis.
on,
You know,
hang
they're
on,
just-
hang on. I'm digging into my poorly maintained memory banks. That is the one of them. It's like about a relationship, and it takes is like the one takes place over an hour or something, or is that something else?
I mean, there. It's like it's one conversation, and then they made one movie every 7 years.
Right.
So, like,
Okay.
the first movie is they meet,
One
the second
conversation,
movie
right?
is and it's just a movie where these two characters talk and they fall in love and they promise to meet again. And then the next movie is they definitely did not meet up again, but he wrote a book about her, and now
Oh man.
now they've met up again 7 years later. And
Don't
then
tell me what the last one's about.
Okay.
I'm going in blind. I'll do it.
Okay.
That might be.
Those movies are great.
That'll probably be an Anya watch. That sounds like something she'd be at least interested in watching the first one and going from there.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah, the first one's the most is the less interesting one to me. Like, the reason the first one's interesting to me is because they made the second one. Because it's like definitely like young people talking about their beliefs. What is interesting to me is about it. It's a movie where these two characters just have a conversation. They're just talking.
Yeah.
Like, it's less about what they talk about than it is that they're talking. To me, that's just all the movie is.
I'll have to check with Anya. I forget how she felt about Destination Wedding.
I feel like she wasn't as into it as you.
I don't think she was, but I feel like she was like I enjoyed it. My mom hated it.
Oh.
Mom thought it was going to be I also thought it was going to be like a more traditional romance kind of film. So.
Nobody fell into pig shit. There's no one shat in a sink.
What's that from?
Most memorable part of Bridesmaids.
Right.
Pooped
That's what
in
I
that
was
sink.
thinking, but I wanted to confirm.
Yeah.
Bridesmaids was.
And then that defined her career after that.
I was gonna say, I think that's why I look back on that movie poorly, is because it just fucked up everything she did.
Well, yeah. I mean, she was,
it was
just like
everything.
a TV actress before.
Dude,
that,
they
for
changed her
Melissa
character. Like,
McCarthy.
after that film came out, it was
Yeah.
popular. They made her character get into a bar fight and start being super raunchy or whatever, and it ruined it.
That's hilarious. As someone who never watched that show.
Oh, I never did.
Yeah, I don't know. She seems funny. She's just like many comic actors. It seems like all the movies she makes are fucking terrible. I feel that way about Kevin Hart. I don't want to watch Kevin Hart movies, but I think it's funny.
I think in Bridesmaid she was fucking hilarious because like it was a side deal. Like we got a fair bit of it, but it wasn't overpowered. But then you put it up front and center.
Like Will Ferrell kind of had that problem where he was funnier as a side character earlier in his career, and then when he became the main dude, I found it diminishing returns. Also, just that style of comedy where they're like, we don't have a script. Have fun. Like, diminishing returns on that. If you want to have some improvisation, okay. But I believe you should write a script. You need structure to break against. You can't just shit in a hole. And
or you
think you're gonna find your golden turd.
Or you do it Scrub style and just one character doesn't have a script.
Sure. That's something to play off of at least. You need some structure.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Not just endless vamping.
Even if that structure is the room.
Yes.
Definitely a structure. Has 4 walls. Possibly a ceiling.
Look, they threw that TV out the window.
Ugh. That'll be another one I need to get Anya to watch at some point. She thought the trailer was a parody.
Greatest romance of our times.
She literally did not. I showed her scenes and she thought they were not real. Like straight up. Many people wonder if they're real. You question if you're real after watching.
No, I didn't get that far.
It just
For that I will
felt
watch like Monster a Go-Go. I need a movie that actually dissolves before my eyes. It just like stops being a movie. Because they actually only made like half a movie and then like there's some stuff stitched to it.
Yeah.
Suddenly, there was no monster. Man, now I want to do Monster Go-Go too. That movie's so fucking boring.
The perfect material.
It's like not actually finished. It's a movie they did finish, but it has such a good ending narration.
All right, Hank.
All right. I stalled long enough.
I need my granola. Is the biggest thing. I'm hungry. I never eat before doing these.
That sounds like a mistake. Always eat before doing these. That's like I eat before hopping on for Dolphy Day, and then like Mark's like, "Well, I gotta go eat." Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. See, I don't have that problem because I'm always doing it so late that like it's not food time. Sometimes I'll grab a snack.
You've been playing for 8 hours or whatever before anyone else is on.
Everyone's starting Dolphy Day. I'm already 12 hours deep into a stream.
I don't know, like the number of times you guys are ending and I'm like leaving work.
Yeah. Time zones are a bitch. I miss being back in Wisconsin sometimes because our Fridays were very consistent.
Yeah. Look, I'm just annoyed you guys were playing together every Saturday, and then the first Saturday I'm free. And nothing happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I also was like, nothing's happening, so I'm gonna figure out my own thing. I didn't like force it to happen, so I'm partially to blame, I would say. But
well, I was. I'm more retroactively upset because I had a lesson, and then Dolphy Day doesn't happen as it should, and then the lesson didn't fucking happen. Like the person didn't show up. So I'm pissed that I could have had it. And part of me was tempted to be like, fuck it. How often do I stay up until 4 and then wake up at 9 anyway of my own accord for no reason whatsoever? I can do it intentionally once. I'll live. And then I didn't. Ugh.
You probably would have died.
I would have been fine.
If you tried.
There's been a couple, very few times. I think the last time I can literally, hang on. Once in 2009, once in 2015, I got like an hour of sleep before a long, awful work day. Because once I was working at the bus garage and once I was working at the factory. I got like an hour of sleep staying up doing stupid shit. I would have been fine. Once every 5 years, I could pull off one of those. But yeah. We miss you, Hank.
Good to be missed? I don't know.
Better than not being missed.
That's true. That's true. I have FOMO.
That was, you know what? That was the part when Paul said that I had FOMO for that WoW raid. Not even close. Oh, that one triggered me a little bit. It was not FOMO. I just thought it was something we could do together.
Well, it sounded like you had FOMO for that mount or whatever.
No. I didn't know it existed. And then I was like, it's a raid. There's this cool mount. Like, that's something we could do. It's a little twofer. I did not
slaughtered.
know. Yeah, and then you would Paul fucking 1-2 punching me. Pa pa pa.
I mean,
sorry.
Didn't know.
I just wanted to do things together. Fuck you.
That, that was your first mistake.
Yeah. Oh man. No, the thing I want to do right now, it'd be cool to, at some point, if the stars align, I get that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater multiplayer. Would be fun.
I mean, me and Paul played some together. The
And
problem
I'm
is
jealous.
I'm fucking terrible about that game. I didn't play it a super large amount back in the day.
Oh, that game was my shit back in the day.
Yeah, I never owned it.
I didn't do much of the campaign stuff. Like, I never focused much on it. But like, me and my brother just playing against each other was a
Man,
big deal.
Like, my affection for it has way more to do with like the effect on our whole generation, like musically that game had.
See, I don't remember the music incredibly well from the original. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now I'm stalling. I'm the one who's hungry. Hank.
We have a question. Is this the
man.
place to answer it?
Yeah, of course. 2.5 hours deep. Hit me.
Okay, he sent it for the Attack into Fund podcast, but we're gonna answer it. And
Okay.
it's from Antonio.
Like we're different people. Go on.
Yeah. What's the biggest oversight you've had in a game that's reflected in the quote, "You were too busy finding out if you could, but never if you should"? And he disqualified me from doing Spider-Man. Why you ask me a question if you know the answer to it already?
You're too busy finding out if you could and not worried enough about whether or not you should.
And his example is reaching Mythic in Arena, humble brag, with his jank deck. And finding himself wanting off his the crazy ride. I did it, but at what cost?
Like trying to 100% some like the Assassin's Creed games back in the day, where it was just like garbage collecting things, and even with a map, it took like 12 hours or something. That did not feel good in hindsight.
I feel like my first experience with a game like that was my friends were playing through Donkey Kong 64, like, because you have to play every level like 4 times to get all the collectibles in that game.
Yeah.
They went so overboard.
Yeah, it's not worth.
I think we got up to like the last boss and didn't finish it.
In Binding of Isaac Rebirth, I briefly got it into my head that it would be cool to have bragging rights and do all of the lost stuff before they made that character actually playable. So no, I think it still had spectral tears, but no holy mantle, none of that shit. Just like the basic bitch lost, like one hit and you're dead. I never did it, but even just trying, like, even bothering with that is a case of like, man, could I do this? And you definitely shouldn't. It's trash. It's actual garbage. So that was.
I have
my
actual answer.
All right.
And it was learning about EVs and IVs in Pokemon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And caring about training my Pokemon properly.
Yep.
Because it kind of ruined those games for me. Once I knew about it and knew about it enough to know how to do it. Because what I really liked was just mindlessly grinding the Elite Four and getting my Pokemon to level 100. But the process of finding the right stuff to make sure my EVs were correct and egg breeding is not fun to me. That I liked doing mindless battles that got easier as I destroyed people. Yeah. And the the actual things you have to do to properly train them was less fun.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
like,
no, that's a
my
good
answer.
one.
Like I came to know too much, and it changed the way I I would engage with the game, and then that stopped being fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great one. I agree. I was like once I found out about it, and especially in the later games where it's easier to just do, like
Yeah, like when it was impossible, like just
that.
like way too
Yeah,
fucking hard. Like it was fine to ignore it, but once it became achievable,
yeah. Once they had the dude telling you when your IVs were
once
perfect.
I'm like, oh, I'm wasting my time if I'm not doing this. My Pokemon are gonna be so much fucking weaker. Not gonna be able to do anything.
When really for the game itself, it doesn't matter at all, and you can just flamethrower everything to
Well,
death at a certain point.
it did matter for like Battle Tower, which I did care about though.
Yeah.
Like the for the there is stuff in Pokemon games like that I liked that was like, oh, my like Pokemon that I use just aren't fucking good enough to do this. Like
Wow. See, that
like
makes it worse for
the
me.
the hardest achievement I had in a Pokemon game that was like a thing that I managed to do, but it was a fucking pain in the ass, was then the Wii Pokemon Stadium thing, Battle Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like a final end boss battle, and like getting my team of like that could beat it or whatever that I'd uploaded to it that like uses Mewtwo and fucking other legendaries or whatever. But like having to try that over and over again and finally do it was like that was cool, but that was definitely a thing where I felt like you really need to be doing your IV training to even do this. like
Yeah, yeah.
like I could just feel how the impact that stuff would have on your ability to win fights
Yeah.
in a way I didn't want to understand before or whatever.
See, that makes it 100 times worse for me because I didn't care about Battle Tower. Oops, I didn't care about Battle Tower or any of that stuff, and I still cared about the IVs for no reason. I just knew they were there, and I knew that I wanted to try.
Yeah, that's weird. Because I still don't care. I like. The worst is when I'm like trying to catch different Pokemon just for the right nature, like for leveling through the game or whatever.
Yeah,
Like I don't want perfect IVs, but I do kind of want the right nature, just because that's such a easy big stat boost.
yeah,
But also, I kind of it doesn't matter. But it's just I know too much. It's ruined the game for me. It's stolen fun out of it, to where like the last Pokemon, so I had more fun with Temtem, or I had more fun with Dragon Ball Fusions, which is just Dragon Ball Pokemon, but you can fuse characters together into cool combos. Like it's
Or
kind of made
Persona.
other Pokemon knockoffs more fun. And like in Persona, I don't have to worry about IVs. I can just fucking fight things. It's fine.
yeah,
I'll get rid of all these Personas in a minute anyway.
yeah. Crushing them, or no? What is it?
Go through
Sacrificing them, guillotining them.
Hell yeah. You're moving on to the next one so often in that game. You're like going through a whole different kind of progression.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to be able to feed my Pokemon to other Pokemon.
See,
Blastoise,
like-
eat Charmander.
it's a one-hit
Fucking
KO.
do it. Use Bite.
Consume him.
Giga Drain.
No, with my going back, because like I decided that the Pokemon games I have Emerald, and I need at some point
Oh,
I
yeah,
want to
dude,
get
Emerald has Battle Factory.
yeah.
I realized the last time they did Battle Frontier is fucking like Black and White 2.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I should play Black and White 2. The games I hate. But it's been long enough that maybe that doesn't matter anymore.
See, I decided like the way for me to actually, I need to fight against the urge to give a shit about EVs, IVs, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What I need to do is, instead of getting the nature that's efficient for leveling, I'm gonna get the nature that fits the Pokemon. And have when I was a kid, that's how it felt, right? Like, oh, this Pokemon's jolly.
Man.
That's lame. I don't want to.
You just catch the first one you catch, and you live with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what does. That's like what, like the competitive side of Pokemon that then like just had to rediscover that fun is like Nuzlocke shit.
Yeah.
Where, like you keep the Pokemon you catch, and that's fucking it. But like I don't need that many rules about it necessarily. But like they're onto something at least in that. Just you catch the Pokemon you catch and fucking move on with your life.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I've been thinking about randomizer stuff.
Yeah.
I was watching like an old Let's Play ProZD did of a Pokemon Crystal or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Randomizer stuff. That's neat. That's a different way to experience the game that I haven't done. I don't know. I'm also out here like looking at this like, would I enjoy Sword and Shield? I don't know.
Ooh.
I'm feeling those.
Ooh. See, for me, that's
WoW.
That's a hard no.
Get really
Honestly,
into WoW WoW pet battles.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're bad though. I've done it before.
You're sure they haven't
They're
like
not that
improved it
interesting.
somehow?
No, they haven't done any work on that shit.
Great.
They probably added more to it, but
all I know is that if you want to sell one of the pets, you should level it to 25 to make it enticing.
Oh, okay.
That's all I know.
I think my highest level pet is like 11. Is where I stopped.
Apparently, it takes like 30 minutes if you do it properly or whatever. Whatever the fuck that means. I tried one day or World Quest pet battle. I was like, okay, it's a World Quest. It can't be that bad. Fucking throw out my little bear boy. He's like, has like 100 HP. The fucker I'm going against has like 6 pets, and the first one has like 2,000 HP. It did not go well. I don't care about that at all.
Look, I need to create my tier list of best Pokemon games and have none of the best ones be actual Pokemon games. That's my new.
Well, that's because the best one is probably just like Persona. To me, anyway.
Yeah. But Persona 4 is definitely my top tier.
I need to go back.
There's There's Temtem. There's Dragon Ball Fusions. There's Digimon World Dusk and Dawn, which are the sequels to Digimon World DS, because they're DS games. There's other Persona games. I don't think I have a lot of examples beyond that.
Yeah.
But those ones, they're good times.
Okay.
I'm sure there are other examples I don't have. Also, what kind of salt do you use for your circle? Pickling salt, kosher salt, iodized salt, sea salt? The only thing that matters is that the salt is white. It matches the color of the white paint on streets. Because the point of our salt circle is that it's imitating like the street painting so that the AI car thinks it can't cross into over the double line, and it's double, and the outer one's dotted because it can go into that circle, but then once it gets in, it's stuck, and its AI can't figure it out because our name of our podcast is based on a thing where an AI car was trapped in a circle of salt by a person. They performed their magic spell, and the car could not escape.
He was bound.
Which is fucking an incredible story of a thing that happened.
It's pretty great.
It's very inspiring to me.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna cut as soon as I find the stop button.